Alright guys, welcome to this page of the notes, and what I did is I told you that these problems were coming all the way back in section 1 here of chapter 9 when we talked about the distance and the midpoint formula. I told you what you would get to with circles is one of these problems. What I've done is I want you to write the equation for a circle, but what I've given you, right, are the endpoints of the diameter, right? So let's go ahead and graph both of those points, right? So I've got the point 7, right there is the point 7, 6, -1, -8, right there is the point -1, -8. So 7, 6, -1, -8, those are the endpoints of the diameter of my circle. So my diameter is a line that looks like that, right? Connecting those 2 points. That's the diameter of my circle, right? Of my circle. Well, in order to write the equation for a circle, right? Remember the circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Here's what I need. In order to write the equation, I need the center hk. Well, how can I find the center of 2 points? Use the midpoint formula. The midpoint formula will give me the center of the circle, h and k. We'll do that first. Then, in order to find the radius, well, once I know where the center of this is, I can then just simply use the distance formula to go from the center, wherever it's at, from the center out to one of the points to get my radius. Let's jump right into it. Here we go. Midpoint first. Remember, the midpoint is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So here's what we wind up with. Again, I like x1, y1, x2, y2. And so I wind up with -1 plus 7 over 2. And I wind up with -8 plus 6 over 2, which means that's going to be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So 3. And -8, that's going to be, so minus 1. It's a -2 over 2, which would just be a -1. So my midpoint is at 3, 1. 1, 2, oh, look at that. I went right through it. Thing of beauty. There's the center of my circle right there. So I know H and I know K. In fact, actually, since in the last problem I did the distance formula, check this out. Go ahead and plug in HK. So I will have x minus h, which is 3 squared, plus y minus k, which is a -1. Careful, watch your signs. Equal to r squared. So here's what I've got. I've got x minus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared is equal to r squared. Okay, so I need to find r squared, but look at what I know. Remember, this is the diameter of my circle, which means my circle does something like, that's freehand, it's not that good. My circle does something like that. Anyway, the point is this. This is a point out here on the edge of my circle, which is at 7, 6. Guys, remember that point we can call x, comma, y. Right, so here's what I'm going to do. Using my center, hk, which I plugged in down here. There's h, there's k. I now know, and you could use either one. You could use this point down here. I just won't because those are negative numbers and it's easy to make mistakes with negative numbers. So if I have positive numbers, I'll just use positive numbers. But certainly you could use this point if you wanted to. But plug in a 7 for x. Plug in a 6 for y. The only thing you don't know is r squared. Here we go. Plug and chug. Don't fat finger something. So we are going to have a 7 for x minus 3 squared plus a 6 for y plus 1 squared is equal to r squared. Well, 7 minus 3, 4. It'll be 4 squared. 6 plus 1, that'll be 7. 7 squared. we wind up with 16. 7 squared is 49. That's equal to r squared. So r squared is going to be equal to what? I get 60. Should get 65. All right, so here we go. Oh, hold up. There it is. All right, so the equation then for my circle is going to be x minus 3, right, is it minus? Hold up, yeah, there it is, sorry, right there, it's right there. It's x minus 3, so x minus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared is equal to 65. That is the equation for that circle based on me giving you the endpoints of the diameter. All right, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. We'll try it again in another problem on the next page of the notes. So flip on over to the next page. I'll meet you guys there.